is how I play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude. And I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
We've thought about it together. Like, you gave me your feedback this week, I thought about it, and I've decided that starting this Friday, the new game that I will start playing is Dragon's Dogma 2. And there's a few reasons for this. Reason number one, it's the game that I'm most interested in and already wanted to play before this whole idea of RPG overload affected the channel, okay? It's just the game that I'm more interested in, that I think is going to be the better option. I think it's going to have more eyes on it. More people will be interested in that right now. So that's number one. Number two, you guys gave me feedback this week, and literally about 80% of the people who did respond said play Dragon's Dogma 2. There are still some people who want to see Rise of the Ronin, but for the most part, people are like, yeah, I think Dragon's Dogma is going to be the bigger game. I'm more interested in that. And the thing is, being that it's going to be an RPG where you make your own pawn team, and you can play it a little bit differently than others, I think that playthrough will be more interesting to watch as opposed to Rise of the Ronin. You know, a lot of people might be playing Dragon's Dogma 2 and say, all right, well, I'm curious how this person's going to handle that, you know? Kind of like Elden Ring, where a lot of people wanted to see in the early game, well, how did that person build their character? How did that person tackle those challenges early on, as opposed to my playthrough? I think people will want to see that with Dragon's Dogma 2, okay? So, that's what I'm going with. Now, I just want to say this up front. This doesn't mean that I'm not ever playing Rise of the Ronin. It just means, as of right now, I'm not playing Rise of the Ronin. It may happen in the future. We may have time for it later. It might be something people want. After it comes out, maybe it'll grow in popularity, and people will be like, oh, how dare you? So, yes, I will possibly play Rise of the Ronin. It's not off the table. It's just not going to be played immediately. Fair enough. Now, I want to remind you guys something.
I only eat penne. I've always eaten it sideways like a taco.
Okay, this is important. Just because the game comes out Friday, and I am going to be playing Dragon's Dogma 2 all day Friday, it does not mean that I'm playing it nonstop. In fact, it's going on hiatus immediately.
Unbelievable.
Because if you remember, RPG overload, right? I cannot be playing all these RPGs at once. I absolutely have to put my foot down, and I have to play Baldur's Gate 3 and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth and finish them. I have to do this, okay? It has to be finished. So, we will cover it for launch day, for that launch day hype, and to get a great taste of what the game will be. And then we gotta wait about another week to finish these games. Once these games are wrapped up, then I will go wholeheartedly, full force push into Dragon's Dogma 2, and I'm excited for it. Remember, way back in the day, Dragon's Dogma 1 was actually one of the games that I loved. And honestly, I'll be honest, my audience didn't like it as much. You know, I was an on-demand content creator back then. I did not live stream. I was still using my camera to capture from my TV back in Connecticut. And I loved the game. I found its open world formula to be refreshing and interesting. I liked the grinding style where you could jump on the monsters and find their weak points, have your pawns attack, and use strategy to win, and you grind, and you get levels and items and things. I really enjoyed it. And I was always hoping that eventually they would actually make a sequel. So I'm happy that they have. I hope that it's good. You know, I don't know how good it will be. I guess we'll find out. But I can't just go wholeheartedly into it when I have these lingering, insanely long playthroughs, right? So we absolutely have to do it, okay? We have to. So I hope that you guys are understanding, right? Wouldn't you rather have me finish these games that have been going on for 2, 3, 4 months so we can focus fully on Dragon's Dogma 2, rather than have me play Dragon's Dogma 2 twice a week and balance it with a million other games that no one's asking for? I think it makes sense, right? Plus, we are heading into the exciting end game of both games now, and people want to see them end and not linger. So I think that we're making the right decision here, okay? So it is official.
Man, I'm stupid. I don't mind doing the suggestion box. It's just that what you're noticing is a lot of the suggestions are not suggestions. They're demands of little pet peeve stuff that doesn't benefit the business if I were to do it. No. Shortening the podcast when all evidence is saying the podcast is doing better than a lot of the gameplay streams doesn't make sense. Just because you don't like the podcast doesn't mean that I have to change it. It means that you need to adhere to a schedule. You know when the podcast starts and ends, so come after the podcast ends. And if you have a problem with that, I don't know what to tell you, because in life, You're going to have to learn how to read and adhere to schedules. And if you can't do that, you're going to have a pretty miserable life. That's like me, right? That's like me. So maybe get a head start on it now. Okay? Okay.
Am I going to play Stellar Blade in April? Unlikely. But we'll see. I'll leave it as a maybe, but it's unlikely. And I'm going to be honest with you. Would you really want to know the truth? Although the combat, I have looked a little bit into the combat, and it looks okay to me. Like, it's not amazing, but it's not bad. It looks decent. If I play Stellar Blade, 99% of the time I'm playing the game, people in the chat are going to be fucking immature shitheads about the character. Because the character was designed purposefully to be a sexualized character. The game dev has outright said it, and all the coverage you're seeing in the game online is just sexualized. Meaning, oh look, instead of show gameplay, let's have her walk up and down this ladder 10 times in a row to see her butt cheeks jiggle. Well, I don't fucking do that. I don't care about that. And I don't want my stream to be all about that. So I'm not going to fucking subject myself to that. But people will definitely be doing that in the chat. So I think I'm just going to skip it. You know, just being honest. I don't feel like I'm missing out too much anyway. Because like what I said, if this game did not have that woman as the protagonist, I don't think people would be talking about it like they are. I don't think people would even be that excited for it. I think it's a decent game when it comes to the gameplay elements, but people are loving the game and hyping it because they're perverts. They're over-sexualized people who are just about the fucking main character. They want to lust over her and fucking look at the butt cheeks jiggle, look at the boobs jiggle, and the devs say, oh yeah, I based her off of a model on purpose so that people would do this shit. Well, guess what? I'm not into that. Since that seems to be a major part of the game development cycle for this game and what was intended, and I don't care about that, I guess I'm skipping it. Oh well. If people would actually just be more mature, I probably wouldn't care. But I know literally the entire chat will just be like, oh my god, lusting over this woman constantly when I try to play the fucking game, so I'm just not going to bother with it. You know, I hate to say it, but that was one of the advantages back in the day of when I played a game like Bayonetta. I didn't live stream it. So I could just do the content, put it out, and yeah, people would be like that in the comments, but at least it didn't permeate the content when I was doing it live. You know, I love having an interactive audience. I feel like the interactive audience will be lost during a Stellar Blade playthrough because people won't be able to control themselves. And I know that sounds fucking sad, but I think it's true. It's this thing about human society. Like, oh, a sexualized character. I can't control myself. Time to just fucking talk about it constantly. Right?
You know the truth? I'm probably one of the most overall mature adults in the country. Did I have a quarter life crisis? When the quarter life crisis would have been what, when I was 20? When I was 20, I don't even feel like I had my head firmly screwed on my shoulders yet. I really don't. I think like I went through all these weird phases of my life that it wasn't until I was past the early YouTube days, which would have been what, my early 30s, that I actually started to feel more like a full adult and more mature and stuff like that. You know, this last 10 years have really been a rough 10 years that have made me a hell of a lot more of a mature person, that's for sure. Silver-tongued talker, right? Oh, I'm just going to say it one way, and hopefully you'll believe it, even though that's not the truth. And that's literally what's happening here. The guy's a liar. The guy's a fucking blatant liar and lying to everyone. But people are believing it because they don't know any better.
God, this sucks. Now I have no turn. I'm just supposed to magically know that this could cost my whole fucking turn. Because I could have jumped, right? Or something. I could have done something different if I'd magically known that was going to happen. So now I can't do it, and now she's going to die. You know, I guess what she could do, she could cast Sanctuary on herself so she doesn't die, right? That's about all I can do. Now no one can hurt her. This is dumb. So now that's it, I'm done. Alright, we'll just stand here like a dunce because you can't use a turn. Oh, I don't see it. There's helmets. Nope. Nope. This makes no sense at all. They completely screwed my game up. Wow, what a great game. Game of the year. If someone leaves your party, they fuck everything up for you. Wow, thanks a lot. Yeah. It's a lot of stuff missing. The helmet's not here. His rings are totally gone. Yep. The rings are gone. The helmet's gone. I found the gloves. But I think what it is I might have already swapped those gloves out at some point. Yeah, this is terrible. I can't believe the game screwed me like this. I might do Hell Dust Glow, so he'll deal fire damage on his attacks. But I don't have any hand bows at all. So I probably can't do the same build that I had with Asterion, because I don't have the bows at all. And I don't even know where to get good hand bows anymore. People were saying I had the best ones. I just got completely screwed over by the game. That's pretty sad, man.
Bravo! Bravo. Well, I'm done for today. We're out of time. I'm playing this 2 more times this week and a lot more next week to beat the game. I'm pretty upset at that. I mean, I'm joking, obviously. I'm not going to delete the game or anything. But I am pretty upset at that. That's obviously a humongous problem. Right? That is a humongous fucking problem. If someone leaves your party, they take the equipment that was on them with them. They'll give you a bag of all the stuff that was in their inventory, but they take all of the shit with them. That's gotta be an oversight. That can't be intentional, right? That cannot be intentional in any way. That's gotta be they fucked it up bad and they're stupid and they still haven't fixed it after all this time. Like, what the hell? Why are you so stupid? Stupid! This guy is really stupid. There's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me. It's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict. Phil has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone, just gone like that. In an instant, fucking gone. I just care about money. I just can't help it. By eBay. Contributions are mandatory, but I need your help. I am appealing directly to you. No decency, no respect, no common sense, no fucking maturity. Is the guy who just doesn't get reality.